Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. This episode is brought to you by Jamila Khanum, our newest Patreon supporter. I'm your mayor, Chewy Plays Nintendo, joined by my co-mayor, Sergio. Today, we will be going in-depth on past Animal Crossing release dates, the possible time period for an Animal Crossing Switch release date, and possible bundles and merchandise. So, to get started, hello Sergio, how you doing?
Hello Chewy, I'm doing great. It's been a good week. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. It's finished my first week of work at my new place, so yeah, things are going well. Been thinking about Animal Crossing a lot, especially lately, as we all know. Animal Crossing Switch is on the way, and one of the things that happened this past week was because I couldn't record my usual 5 features video, I actually opted to just talk about Animal Crossing Switch, and I talked about the release date, and I guess I wanted to use this first part of our show to, go more in depth as to my thoughts on a release date. I know I said at the end of that episode that I don't see it happening in the spring. I think a summer release is possible, but I definitely see it like summer or later, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I wanted to also chat with you about this because I know you've got a lot of good data and ideas for release dates. So, yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, definitely. And for the record, this is the beginning of year 2 for Haken. And yeah, just knowing that we're getting a new mainline Animal Crossing game on the Switch in 2019, everything is so different. Everything is like new and fresh.
Yeah, I can't believe year 2 is starting with such a bang. It's so crazy. So I guess I wanted to lay down some ground rules for what I think we should expect for this release, you know? They're just things that, you know, are things that can be observed and that I think will play a role in your guess for when Animal Crossing will eventually be released, you know?
Right.
So the first thing I want to make note of is that Nintendo always, well, not always, but for the recent years has always released games on Fridays. So, you know, what was the last Nintendo game to come out? Was it Mario Tennis Aces? No, that was the last one I bought, but that came out on a Friday. I think the last game they put out was probably the Captain Toad port.
Right.
Was that in July at this point?
Yes.
Yeah,
and,
so...
Even
go for it.
WarioWare for the 3DS, that was also a Friday.
Yeah, so Pokemon games, they'll come out on Fridays. I think for a while, Nintendo used to put games out on Sundays.
Yes.
Because I remember getting Animal Crossing New Leaf on a Sunday.
Right. And before that, it was Tuesdays. So, you know, they've been changing. I like Fridays. It seems like Friday is going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, I think Fridays are great. Everybody loves Fridays. And Friday, where a new video game comes out, that's exciting.
Yes.
That makes your Friday, makes your weekend plans right there.
Exactly.
So yeah, Nintendo releases games on Fridays. The next thing I feel that people can observe is typically Nintendo releases 1 game per month. And sometimes that number is 2 games. Other times that number is 0 games. So I'd say 0 to 2 games per month, and it really depends. Usually on those months where they release 2 games, they aren't like a brand new game. So as a note, like since 2017 or March 2017, when the Switch released, there hasn't been like a double major release. So for example, March, the very first month Nintendo came out with the Nintendo Switch, they released like 3 games, which was Zelda Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch and Snipper Clips. And obviously 1-2 Switch and Snipper Clips are kind of those budget titles. So if you see two games, one of them tends to be like more of a budget title. I believe this past year in June, Mario Tennis Aces came out, but Nintendo also put out the budget title Sushi Striker. And, budget titles for Nintendo, they can range from like $20 to $50. Sushi Striker was a $50 game.
Oh, wow.
So not that much of a budget. And then another, I think May this past year was also Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and Hyrule Warriors. And those were both out that month. And those were both ports. So
correct.
I don't know. I feel like typically when we're seeing a new game, it's usually the only game that we get from Nintendo that month. And if it's not, the other game will be a budget title.
Yes, that's right.
So I say this because, January, there is one game on the way, and that is New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, the title that just keeps on going. And I would say that's a port, but I don't know. I just don't think it's likely for Animal Crossing to just be dropped right at the beginning of the year. And this is mostly due to how close it is to Super Smash Bros. In December. I think for now, Nintendo has given us some great things to look forward to in 2019. But I think now, till I guess Smash Bros. Comes out, they've got a pretty full docket of games on the way. They've got Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee in November, followed by Super Smash Bros. And so I think they would want to keep the hype around those two games, especially during the holidays,
Yes.
Also, I don't know, January for an Animal Crossing game. Animal Crossing is a huge game. January to me feels like that month where you missed the holiday rush. I guess I don't see like parents being, I guess, going out there and buying their kids a new game when we just got off of a month where they probably spent a lot on their kids,
Yes, and you brought a good point, a really good point about Smash Brothers. That game is huge, so anybody that gets it, it's gonna be set for, I would say, even up to February. I think Nintendo is good to go until March of 2019 with the lineup that we have already.
Yeah, and we're getting two heavy hitters right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I feel like gamers are going to be distracted, at least by Nintendo standards,
Yeah.
So yeah, you're making a good point with that too. And also, I guess like February to early March is kind of the end of the winter season for Nintendo. So then I think late March through late June is, that springtime, which I mentioned in my video. I don't think it's coming in spring. I feel kind of sad though, because a lot of the comments, there are people really pushing for spring. And I worry for them. I don't want them to be disappointed, but I tried to warn them.
Yes.
I did my best. I care about the community. I want us all to be happy. So please don't set your hearts on spring.
Yes.
But you can. I can't control what you do. Go ahead, do it, but I just hope you're okay with a later release date when it happens, or if it happens.
Right.
Because I don't mind if it comes out in the spring. If they want to give it to us, go for it. I will not complain. Okay, so let's see. The other thing I wanted to say, I know I was like, okay, I'm just setting my heart at December 31st, 2019 for the release. I don't think Nintendo, like my last point, would miss out on a holiday release for Animal Crossing. This is a huge game. Like, it draws in different demographics for Nintendo. You get a lot of younger kids, you get a lot of female gamers, and I don't know, I feel like having it out in the holidays is a good time. So I don't think
Yes.
it'll be December 31st just because that would miss the holidays. In fact, I think the latest it would be is that first week of December.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what they're aiming for with Super Smash Bros. Too.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I don't think they want it out later than that first week of December. That
Right.
gives people the time to get the game, wrap it up, put it under a tree, and get make
Right.
some kid really happy.
Right, right. I bet they would even want it before Thanksgiving, but that would collide a little bit with Pokemon. Maybe they came to an agreement with Game Freak. One of them had to come out after.
Yeah, or that I don't know how early they solidify their release schedule.
Mhm.
And I do know what I do know is that I expect that Pokemon game for 2019 to come out pretty late in the year. So that could
Yes.
even be the December title.
Yes.
That first week of December, and then November. That's our Animal Crossing timeline right there. I mentioned in the video, I feel October is going to belong to Luigi's Mansion. Makes sense. It's a
Yes.
spooky game. Yes, Animal Crossing does have that type of theme during that time of year, but Luigi's Mansion, that's the whole theme right there.
Right.
So I think it would take priority for them to have that for their October game. So let me see. So from what I'm saying, I believe that we can expect Animal Crossing Switch to be released somewhere between, it's going to be a big in between, but February 1st, that's a Friday, to December 6th, which is also a Friday.
Right.
So somewhere between those 45 weeks, we could see Animal Crossing get released. That's my broad overarching guess, which is very, very, very broad and overarching because it only cuts out like 7 weeks out of the year.
Yes.
But if you guess any of those Fridays between February 1st and December 6th, you have a 1 in 45 chance of guessing correctly. So the odds are pretty good. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to start this discussion by kind of laying down the ground, or just my thoughts of when that release date could occur,
Mhm.
and just let people know that games come out on Fridays. Don't guess like a Monday date, a Tuesday date. It's not going to be that. Sorry if one of those is your birthday. I wish my birthday was like on a Friday. And actually, while you tell me about your thought process, I will see when my birthday is. But yeah, tell me what you're thinking, because I've clearly said so much already about release dates, but I really want to get to know what you're thinking for the release.
Yes, definitely. I think your points are great. There's evidence, like you said. We have proof that points to this wide 45-week range being very likely instead of the entire year. I was thinking a little bit further. I was trying to rule out the Friday of E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, because for the most part I couldn't remember if there were a lot of games released that week. There's so much buzz going around that I don't think Nintendo may want a title to get lost in the mix. I do know we got New Leaf the week before E3 back in 2013, but you brought out a good point that ARMS was actually released the Friday of E3 in 2017. So, it could happen. I think it's just unlikely, but it's not necessarily a guaranteed date to rule out. And the same goes for Black Friday, which is the Friday after Thanksgiving, the holiday in the United States. For 2019, that's going to be Friday, November 29. I think that one is a safe bet to rule out. I don't expect a new game to come out when everyone is rushing out to get Black Friday deals and a new game. So it's very unlikely to get such a big release that Friday. If we go with these two, even including the E3 week, we have 40 out of 52 weeks. So, we're getting there. We're narrowing it down.
Yeah. And, I feel you've kind of pinpointed two dates that I feel there always seems to be releases kind of around these two dates.
Yeah.
Maybe not on those dates exactly. So I think you're right in that sense to rule them out. But I feel like Nintendo likes to put out a game around E3. So, because, like you have all of these conferences and game companies saying like, here's what's coming out in the next year to 5 years, depending on if you're PlayStation or Xbox. Usually it's like 5 years to wait for the new Kingdom Hearts game, but I don't know. Anyways, so you have those companies going, putting games way out in the future, and then you have Nintendo that's like, here's a game right now,
right?
Play this. It's already ready, you don't have to wait, but meanwhile while you play this you can wait for these other cool things. So
right.
I don't know why more game companies don't do that, because that's great. I feel entertained, I feel psyched that I've got a game to enjoy and then others to look forward to. And then the same with like Black Friday. I feel like November releases tend to happen like that week before. I think
Yes.
Pokemon this year is scheduled for either a week or two before Thanksgiving. And that's awesome because now I know I can download the game. I can go pick up my Pokeball controller.
Nice.
Which I for sure got. I had to get that. It's so cute. But anyways, I'm going to pick up my Pokeball controller and then I'm going to take it with me to my family's place in Arizona when we go there for Thanksgiving. And that's going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's really fun to me. Like a game that comes out just before Thanksgiving because I typically go on some sort of trip at that time. And I'm like, cool. I can spend my trip playing this game.
Yes.
Great. That I love. So yeah, I think you're right pinpointing those dates. I think game releases around those dates are very likely. Maybe not on them, but
right.
Yeah, usually there's no Black Friday release, so I think we can rule that out for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you sent me before we chatted a little Excel sheet about, past, I guess, Animal Crossing releases. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Can you give us a recap of past Animal Crossing release dates?
Yes, definitely. And right from the beginning, you can tell that a certain month stands out more than the others, and that is November. A lot of the mainline games came out in November. For example, Wild World came out in November in Japan. City Folk was released in November in the United States and in Japan. And also New Leaf in its original release in Japan. That was in November. The same goes for Amiibo Festival, but that's kind of a special game.
Yeah, and I want to make note, too, that these were initial release dates. Like the very first day that Animal Crossing was playable on this planet. I don't know if it's playable on other planets, but on this one, when it's released, they tend to be in November.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now, as for summer, which is somewhat likely, I would say, for 2019, we had Animal Forest E+, which was a very unique Japanese exclusive game that was in the summer. Also, New Leaf in the United States and in Europe was released in the summer. And Happy Home Designer in Japan. We got it a little bit after elsewhere, but in Japan it was the summer, late July.
That's a lot of summer releases.
Yeah.
I feel like they fall in those 2 months.
Yeah.
Or those 2 seasons, rather, not months. Those are long months if they were. But yeah, I love that. Those are great times for Animal Crossing to come out.
Yes. Now, for those that were hoping or are still wishing for a release during the spring, there's not much going on. We had Animal Forest. That was the very first game in Japan. That was in April 2001. So that's kind of a good sign that the very first Animal Crossing release was in the spring. But other than that, the only other one is Wild World. It's released in Europe. That was during spring, and that's it. Everything else is not in spring.
It's not likely. I'm sorry. um, I mean, I will go on record to apologize that if it comes out in spring, I'm going to say sorry to everyone. I was wrong, for sure. And then I'm going to say, but I don't care that I'm wrong because Animal Crossing is coming out now, which is great. Anytime.
Yes. Now, I've already made my guess. I've said that I expect the game in September 2019. And we'll see, we'll see. But as for September, the record is that Population Growing came out in September in the United States and in Europe, and also Happy Home Designer for the US. That was also September.
Yeah, I always forget. I don't know. I guess Happy Home Designer was a weird release to me just because September is a weird month to me. I don't know. I never feel like games come out on September.
Yeah.
But some do. Like it happens. So I don't know.
Right. An interesting fact, I was looking at the earliest release and also the latest during the year. For example, the earliest Animal Crossing launch in some year was March 31st. That was in 2006 when Wild World came out in Europe. That's a good sign. I think that points out the fact that we shouldn't really expect something in January or February. I think this points to that. And the latest release was in December 14, back in 2001. That was the first like enhancement to Animal Forest. That was Animal Forest Plus that came out December 14. That kind of goes with what we said, we don't want it too late into December. I think by 14, 15, maybe, the middle of December, that's probably the latest that Nintendo would want the game to be released.
Yeah, and then I remember the latest release for, I guess, me personally. I remember going to the store and getting Wild World in like December. So I think the US release for Wild World was December. I'm looking at your chart now, and yeah, it was December 5th,
Yes.
2005. So yeah, I feel that falls to me like those first 7 days of December, I feel is when you should expect the last like Nintendo game of the year to come out.
Yes, definitely.
But the one you're mentioning, what was that?
For September?
The date. No, the other December date, the latest one.
Yes, December 14th for Animal Forest Plus. Again, that's Japan only.
Oh yeah. And so I feel like, I don't know, I'm not from Japan, and I don't know the culture too well, but I imagine, the Christian religion's probably not as prominent there, so probably not too much revolving around the month of December.
Right.
But, it's just interesting to know that so many Animal Crossing games have hit that November date. Even I'm looking at your chart again, and I find it very interesting that Amiibo Festival and Pocket Camp, though in every region, that was a November release. And those were the most recent games to come out.
Good point.
Yeah. Happy Home Designer is a bit all over the place. Like Japan got it in July. We got it here in North America in September. Europe got it shortly after in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, there's some weird inconsistency. The one thing I'm happy about with this new game is that I 100% believe that we are going to get this simultaneously in every region.
Yes.
And it's funny to me that Nintendo hasn't been making a big deal about this since, I guess, the most recent Pokemon releases. For a long time, Nintendo games came out at just different times throughout the world. And, that had a lot to do with localization teams. They would get the game, they'd get whatever amount, they'd probably estimate how much time it would take them to go through and translate everything and, get that all approved and everything. And then, from there you get all the ratings, and it's such a process to put a game out, especially overseas,
Yes.
So that to me feels like the process that's going to push Animal Crossing a little bit further back in the year. Of course, I don't know how long they've been working on it. I have my suspicions of how long they've been working on it. Personally, I think they started getting more serious about development on this game probably late 2016, which, funny enough, November, I think, of 2016 was the Welcome Amiibo update.
Yes.
Which, in some sense, that's a release date in its own. So another November release date for Animal Crossing there. But yeah, I feel like shortly after that Welcome Amiibo update, we had teams go on to make some of the spin-off games, and then a team that's like going off to dedicate real time to that Nintendo Switch title. So I don't know. I'm feeling like 2017 was probably the start of truly putting a lot of resources toward a new game. So that's last year plus this year into next year, and that's a pretty fast development time for the average Animal Crossing game.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I said, I've got my suspicions about how long they've been working on the game, but they've got to have it done and then send it off to the other regions for translation and everything. So it's a process.
Yeah, even if we just look at the last mainline game, which was New Leaf, between the November release in Japan and when we got it in June in North America, so that's 7 months. It takes, let's say, at least 7 months to do the whole translating. This game, Animal Crossing on the Switch, I mean, I'm sorry, Japan, but you're gonna get it at least 7 months later because of the rest of the world. In a way, we thank you because now everyone, we're assuming that everyone is gonna get it at the same time, and this is gonna be, I think, a norm now for not just for Animal Crossing but for all games. Like you said, even Pokemon. I think Nintendo likes this now, and I think it's nice. It's fair, it's balanced. Everyone gets the game at the same time.
Yeah, and I think the important thing that pushes Nintendo to get all of their major new releases out at the same time everywhere is the fact that the Nintendo Switch is not region locked. So there's no way to stop people. Like, if this game came out in Japan, I'm going into the Japanese eShop and I'm downloading it right away.
Yes.
I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to play that one because that's the one that's available. Whatever's available first, that's what I'm getting. And so, yeah, Nintendo just doesn't have that luxury to take its time working through these things because there's no stopping players from, not opting to buy from their respective markets when it's already available somewhere else,
Yes.
And that's that's a business thing. That's just Nintendo trying to get a good and accurate count of how much they gain from each market. So yeah, I think they literally just don't have an option at this point. I feel like we're just going to get all the games and at the same time, and it's going to be good.
Oh yeah. And I just realized that if let's say the game comes out in November 2019, Poor Japan, they got New Leaf in November 2012. That's 7 years. That's huge. That's too long.
Yeah, and thinking back, it's funny because one of the things that got me really, so the first date for the direct was announced, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, cool. I'm excited to see something that's not 2018. That's all I was really expecting. Then it got delayed, and that gave me a week to sit on it. And one of the things that I guess I was suspicious of was, I know Animal Crossing is very, very popular in Japan.
Hmm.
And it was clear to me that they wanted as many people as possible in Japan to hear this announcement.
Mm.
And that's what contributed to a lot of my hype. I felt like, okay, something in this direct is clearly targeting the Japanese audience.
Yes.
And I was like, well, we have Pokemon already, Smash already, Splatoon 2. Like, those are hugely popular games in Japan. We don't have Animal Crossing. And
Yes,
I know
that's right.
that's one of the things that's missing. So, I don't know. I just couldn't help myself getting hyped at that point because I
Mm.
was like, Japan loves Animal Crossing. Like, they need to hear this announcement. That's
Yeah.
definitely something that they want.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, that's a very good point.
yeah, so 7 years of waiting. That is
Jeez.
insanity. That is by far the longest wait for an Animal Crossing game.
Yeah.
Outside of, actually, the day we're recording this, I think it's the 129th year of Nintendo being a business,
Yes. Hmm.
which, the longest wait between Animal Crossing was definitely that year 129 years ago to 2001. So that's the official longest wait. Everybody knows Nintendo was only truly working up to that moment to change our worlds forever. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know. I feel like I've covered a lot with this. Do you have anything else to say as far as release dates go?
No, I mean the chart sort of points negatively to my September date, but I'm sticking with it. I think it makes a lot of sense in many ways. So hopefully, meaning because at least it's not October and November or December, you know. But if it's
Yeah.
earlier, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to cut out, let me see, 5 more weeks that it could be. And that is every single week in August.
Oh,
Um, 2 years in a row now, we have not gotten a new like Nintendo Switch game from Nintendo in August.
hmm.
So August 2017, nothing. August this past year, nothing. So I think it's safe to just cut out all of the August dates. So I don't know. I guess the most likely dates are looking to be, for me, July, like the dates in July, maybe
Right.
late June.
Hmm. Hmm.
It has to be post spring June, so summer June. Um, so yeah, late June, July, and then I don't know. I guess I shy away from September,
Hmm.
but I November. It seems so likely for November.
Yes, yes.
um, but I don't know. September. It could be September though. We've seen games released for Animal Crossing in that month before, so I don't know. It could be that.
Right, right. I just, thinking back, I cannot imagine or remember being excited for a Nintendo game in August. I'm talking about games on the Wii, the Wii U, way back. I cannot remember. I don't think August is a big month for gaming releases overall.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just skip over that month. But really, Animal Crossing, I think that's one of the games that would sell any time of the year.
Yes.
But it's also such a big game. I feel like they might as well release it at a time that would maximize the sales.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Also, while you were going through your things, I did take a look at what day my birthday lands on this year, and it is a Thursday.
Ooh, close.
So, for those who don't know, Nintendo, I've explained that Nintendo releases games on Fridays. In the United States, all games on the eShop go live at midnight Eastern time. So Thursday at 10 p.m., the night before Friday, that's when games on the eShop go live for me. So my birthday being on Thursday is not bad at all. Of course, the one bummer about that is I would have to wait an entire year before seeing the birthday celebration ceremony in the game.
That's true.
So that's rough.
Man.
But you know what? How awesome would it be to end my year like that? I wouldn't mind. It'd be pretty nice, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the release times. Feel free to, I don't know, message us somehow, leave a comment on the YouTube page or something about, an updated guess for your release dates, because I think, I don't know, there are a lot of days that it can be, but, it's fun to kind of narrow it down to certain days. I have fun with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we count October as being Luigi's Mansion month, which I think makes sense, we kind of narrowed it down to like 32 weeks. So that's, we're getting there.
Yeah, that's pretty, wow. That's good odds for guessing. So speaking about an Animal Crossing Switch release, we've got ideas of what we would like to see and what we want for bundles and other merchandise. So I for sure think there's going to be a bundle. What do you think?
Yes, they have to make one. They've shown that big games like Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, and Smash Brothers, that they get a bundle. Other games, maybe they just get a controller or a set of special color Joy-Con, but nowadays, I mean, we're getting 2 bundles in the same month this year, so I think it bodes well for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Both of these are major games now that are coming with their own bundles. Even, Super Mario Odyssey had a bundle with the special red Joy-Con download code. Splatoon 2 had a bundle with their special Joy-Con and a download code. So I think it's very, very likely that we see an Animal Crossing Switch bundle. As far as what it has, I think they're going to go more all out with these. I think the most recent bundles are more of what the style Nintendo's going to go for from here on out, where we've got the themed dock, the themed Joy-Con, more of a themed Switch, and, they're still going to provide that download code for the game.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess I'm trying to remember, was the Switch unit for the Smash Bros. Bundle themed in some way?
Yes. Oh, the Switch itself, I don't think it is. Just the dock. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So the dock's special. Whereas like the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the dock is special. The Switch unit itself is special. The Joy-Con, special. Every piece of it. And that's what I'm looking for Animal Crossing. Whereas, the Super Smash Bros. One, the dock is special. And before, they didn't even make the dock special in the past bundles.
That's
Super
right.
Super Smash Bros., the dock, the Joy-Con, and then I guess they don't have the Switch unit itself, but they do get a Pro controller on top of that.
That's true.
That's true. Got the theme. I guess I'm wondering, do you know if the bundle comes with the physical game or the download of the game?
It's a download, and it's funny because the bundle comes out about a month before the game, but it is specific. Well, it doesn't really yell it, but you have to look at the fine print, and it says that the download is not going to work until December.
Okay, it's crazy to me that people are gonna have the Smash things, but
Right.
not the game yet. That
Right.
almost hurts. Knowing that like you're so close, but so far.
Yeah, it's sad because I think there's gonna be people thinking, oh, if I get the bundle, I can play the game now, and they're gonna be disappointed. Yeah, let's spread the word. The download works until release date in December.
Yeah. The other thing, I had something in my head about the bundle, but I don't know. I'm just thinking I want I want the dock theme to be a little bit better. Like I saw the Pikachu and Eevee one, and I feel like the colors just aren't the best together. Like I kind of wish they went all out and redesigned the coloring for the dock and the system
Hmm.
to fit that Pokemon vibe a little bit better. Um, yeah, I think it works with the Smash one. I feel like the dock for Smash, I like that a lot better. It's
Hmm.
pretty straightforward, kind of just like the black and the design. The Joy-Con are terrible though.
Yes.
They don't look great. They look
No, it's
so
so
basic.
simple. Yes, yes.
They could have done a better job with the Joy-Con. Yeah, that's a shame. I love though seeing on Twitter that somebody just put tape on their Joy-Con and it looked just like the Smash Joy-Con.
Yes.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I shared that photo in the Discord. So if you ever join the Discord, let me know and that you heard about these Joy-Con and I will send that photo again because it's so funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's I guess are you expecting anything else in a bundle for Animal Crossing?
No, I think that's it. I just hope we get a custom everything. This would be the best. This would be a great opportunity to have a white switch. I think if the system is white, that would make it limited enough already. And it could have the Pop Tart pattern on the back and maybe also on the dock.
Yeah, that would be so cute. I would love that. You know what? Okay, I have to go back because now that I know that the Smash bundle is coming out kind of like the month before, this is promising to me because we were discussing earlier about wanting to play the new Animal Crossing game as soon as it's out, right?
Yes.
I think one of the things that we're worried about is if the bundle with the Switch comes out the same day that the game comes out, we're probably going to be ending up like buying the digital copy on our current Switches, playing that the night before, and then we have two download codes at that
Yes,
point
that's right.
that we can't use. I mean, we'll probably do like a giveaway or something with them.
Right.
But if the bundle just comes out the month before and we already have the download code, that kind of saves us some money.
Yes, yes, definitely.
um, so it's interesting. I'm pretty stoked about that being the case with Smash, which also means, uh, I guess I don't know what the date for the Smash bundle is, but that's probably when we're going to be able to preload the game on our
Yes,
Switch.
that's a good point, or at least a demo.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
awesome. Because the last Smash was the first one that ever gave us a demo.
Yes.
And I was obsessed. I was like, yes, Villager is playable on this demo. That's all I need. So
Right.
next one, I'm going to need to be playing as Isabelle and Inkling in the demo. Because those are the two characters I'm most pumped about.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I'm just thinking, I really want to see a white Switch, and it would be nice to have something Animal Crossing related. But I think if the Switch itself is white and also the dock, It also would make sense for the Joy-Cons to be the same white, but I kind of want something different for the Joy-Cons, so I'm not sure if white might work best. But I definitely want to see something special for the whole thing. And, since we're huge fans, we also want to see a special edition Animal Crossing themed Pro Controller.
Yes, I definitely want to see that. The Pro Controllers, they've been interesting to me. Because it's, the base of it is black, and they kind of just go with coloring the two handles on the Pro Controller.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm already imagining like a big town tree on the Pro Controller that looks super. I'm so ready for that. I wonder what color scheme they'd go with. Maybe it'd have like green handles.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, Animal Crossing is a pretty green game.
Yeah, it's like the grass pattern.
Yeah. Oh, the patterns. Oh, yes. I would love that. Or seeing like the pattern kind of in the see-through portion of the Pro Controller too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a great looking Pro Controller.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it every day. Yeah, and it's funny because I'm getting a new phone this week. I'm getting an iPhone, and I've never had one before, but I've always funny enough, the thing that has made me most jealous about iPhones is all of the options that you have for cases.
Right.
For phone
right.
cases. And so now I'm looking at like Redbubble and seeing all the different like Animal Crossing cases, and I've narrowed it down to like the one I'm getting. I'm also going to get like another one that's over the garden wall themed. So
Nice.
they feel the most autumn to me. I'm in a very autumn mood. So
Ooh, nice.
yeah, I'm stoked about that. It's so great.
Right.
Yeah.
I was also thinking for the limited edition bundle items that they do, if it's going to be character based, kind of like the Pikachu and Eevee ones. I mean, of course, it's going to be a very likely is that it's going to be Isabelle, especially because she's now in Smash, and they're going to promote that as well. I'm thinking though, if they introduce a new special character to the series, this might also be a nice way to promote them if they're kind of featured in the Joy-Con or maybe the dock.
Yeah, I really wonder, because right now I imagine if they were to go special characters, I imagine the choices they would pick Isabelle and Tom Nook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's based off like that's what we just saw through this Animal Crossing Switch reveal. We saw Isabelle. Isabelle's for sure like one of the most popular characters in Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Hands down. And then Tom Nook is popular in the sense of like everybody knows him. There's a real divide on whether people hate him or love him. But he's at the forefront of Animal Crossing. People know Tom Nook.
Yes.
So
yes.
I just feel like those two would be the options. Though, KK Slider does not seem like a stretch to me. I think KK Slider is also very, very popular and very well known,
Yes, and he would look great in a white system.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. Now I'm thinking of like different. I love the smaller new 3DS because of the changing face plates.
Yes.
And I'm still so tempted to get one of those and buy every single Animal Crossing changing plate. That KK Slider one looks great. Yes. The Timmy and Tommy one, they look great. There's so many great looking plates.
Yeah.
But I'm already imagining like if you had custom plates to put over your like Switch backing.
Yeah.
That are Animal Crossing
themed.
Yeah. That would also be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it could serve also like as a little bit more protection for your system.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
And we were also talking about, other things that are going to come out alongside the game in a bundle. In one that is, there's a lot of customization in carrying cases. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of them for sure. And I think that's when they can go all out and make one for each big main character.
Yeah, I would love an Animal Crossing themed carrying case. Right now, I'm sporting my Sheikah Slate
Hmm.
carrying case. That's the one that came with the special edition of Zelda Breath of the
Yes.
Wild. And it's nice. It's pretty bulky. Like it's a very thick case.
Yes.
I definitely feel like my Switch is safe in that case. But I would also feel like it's safe in an Animal Crossing case. So yeah, sign me up for those. One thing I'd definitely want, and this is one of my regrets when Animal Crossing New Leaf came out. I saw the guide all the time for it, and I was like, it was only $20, and I was like, oh, should I get it? I don't know. I kind of don't look at how to do things. I just like playing the game and learning it. But now I'm just like, I should have just bought it and looked at all the pictures because that's what's fun. At this point, I have the digital version that I got with like 20 gold points on my Nintendo. Anybody who has like just some spare gold points, like you can get that original Prima guide for Animal Crossing New Leaf. The one thing is that like it's digital. It's not the greatest to flip through. It's
Yes,
not
right.
the same as being like a physical thing. So I'm getting the guide. I want it to come with a checklist too, so I can check off all of the items that I'm getting as I get them. That would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
um, and also you brought up the point of like if the mobile app, the Nintendo Online app, also had like a dedicated Animal Crossing app, that would also be a good place for a checklist to live.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking maybe, I mean, it's gonna be linked to the game. Maybe it's gonna checklist on its own. Whenever you get
Wow.
an item, it already checks it for you.
Yes, that would be so cool. Um, yeah, I don't. I guess I want it to be seamless, where we know kind of. It's hard to keep track of what you've gotten and what you
Yeah.
haven't in the game. I want. I'm kind of wondering of a system that would let you like just in your game while you're looking at the things, it shows you that, oh, you already own this. Do you
Yes.
want another one? But I don't want it to be like a piece of dialogue that the character says. They're like, oh, you've bought this before. Are
Yes.
you sure you want it? Because that takes up a little bit of time. But maybe there could be like a red light, a green light, a yellow light. I'm just going with stoplight colors. Green light means you own it. Red light means you don't. And then yellow light, I don't know what that. I don't
Oh,
know.
it could be you have owned it, but you don't have it anymore.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's not in your inventory right
Right.
now.
Right. But it is
Um,
in your catalog.
yeah, and if like all the items like kind of displayed that for each personal character in the
Yes.
town, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
way people.
I need that.
Yes, because I run through the store and I buy so many things, and I
I
buy
know.
everything because
Yeah.
I am a hoarder to the end. So I just want some sort of system like that shows me, here's what you got, here's what you don't, here's what you have owned, but
Yeah.
you don't have it right now.
Yeah.
So that's all we really need to know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make little Timmy and Tommy's shop go crazy.
Yeah. And we would save a lot of money or a lot of else.
Yeah. And then we've talked about this in the past, but you went to the Nintendo store in New York. I've also gone to the Nintendo store in New York. And one of the most exciting things is that it's one of the few places in this world where we can find Animal Crossing plushies.
Yeah.
I need more plushies.
Yeah. You know what? Just as we're recording, I think this is a hugely huge, great idea. Okay, so we are expecting either new amiibo if there's new characters. It's probably gonna be figures, maybe cards. Especially if there's new characters, for sure they're gonna get new amiibo, right? At least we're hoping that the OK Motors crew gets one. What if a nice way to re-release the existing amiibo, instead of figures, they could do plushies, plushie amiibo.
Yeah, that would be so good because we
Yeah.
have like the Yoshi yarn amiibo already.
Mhm.
We have special kinds of amiibo that aren't just the regular plastic figures.
Yes.
Um, and I'm down. I'm so down. One of the things I've been wanting to do is you kind of showed me like a sculpted figure you got of your villager, you know?
Yes. Mhm.
I would 100% buy like an extra villager amiibo, take out the NFC chip, and put it into like a sculpture of my thing.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
yeah, or even like, you have 6 KK Slider amiibos now.
Yes.
Have you ever considered getting the NFC chip out of one of them and putting it into one of your KK plush toys?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because that is awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like you can customize your plush toys and turn it into an amiibo,
Yeah.
and you take it with you, and it's awesome. You
Yeah.
know? So there's an idea for you. I think it'd be cool. I want one for myself now. But yeah, I want to take like a villager amiibo and make it look like my villager, and it'd be nice.
Yeah. So, if we get new regular figure amiibo, that's fine. I guess if that's the case, we should still expect new plushies, like just a regular plush line of the old favorites and new characters. But I just think it would be a nice way to combine everything and just make plushie amiibo. I mean, they wouldn't be too big, but they would be a really nice new form of amiibo, and it would definitely encourage us to get them again, even if we already have them.
Yeah, I'd want them.
Yeah.
I for sure want them. Yeah, and I think the last thing that we had listed was, and slash is something that we haven't really gotten. I think Japan got one of these way back in the day, but I would love to see a full Animal Crossing Switch soundtrack. And
Mhm.
I'm sure they haven't done it just because, like, how many CDs do you think it would take to give you the whole soundtrack?
Right.
Because I don't know. Every once in a while, I'll go onto YouTube and I'll just put on the entire New Leaf soundtrack, and that's like a 7.5 hour soundtrack.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're looking at probably like 8 discs to fill in all of the possible music that you can hear in this game, and so it makes sense that they don't make it just because like the sheer quantity of music that they have to put out
Right.
and put onto discs to get to people is insane. How many records do you think it would
Oh man.
take?
At least double that, so maybe 16 or more. But
It
it,
was
it would
so
be,
many.
yeah, it would be a nice way for them to break it up, So these are the hourly songs during the day, hourly songs at night. Here's KK Slider songs only. So, do special packages. It would also be nice to get a digital record or soundtrack of the full game, but
Hmm.
it's definitely nicer to get something physical because it comes with, special images and art cover and everything.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was also thinking like if it were on records, you'd have your like A sides, B sides. The next one could be your C sides, your D sides, and so on. And then it made me think of Celeste, which is an awesome game. But
Oh,
but yeah, like there'd be so many sides to your discs to
yeah.
play every single Animal Crossing song. um, yeah, man, I'm stoked. I'm so ready to see things come out and be awesome stuff that we can actually get and buy and hold in our hands outside of just pressing buttons to touch it in the game.
Yes, yes. And we know there were a lot of trademarks, I believe last year, yeah. So, it's leading up to 2019, and it's going to be a huge release. I think it's safe to not only expect the game, I think it's safe to expect a bundle, maybe a nice controller, definitely new plushies, new amiibo. This is going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 100% expecting a bundle at minimum.
Yes.
So I can only expect that they're gonna take advantage of that and make more things that we can collect and have fun with.
Yep.
Probably, what are those like World of Nintendo figures? Is that what they call them?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, so World of Nintendo. I'm sure we'll get some more little Animal Crossing characters in that collection too.
Yes.
So yes, I'm ready to see a bunch of things Animal Crossing. It's so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron, and if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes. And if you do want to become a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewyPlaysNintendo. We've had some new people join recently. One episode was dedicated to one of our new people. So if you want to hear an episode dedicated to you, definitely become a patron. I'm going to actually be kind of reevaluating what my goals are on there, what rewards I'm doing, just because I've looked at my goals recently and I'm like, well, I kind of accidentally fell into those because Sergio provided, you're letting me use your 3DS with capture abilities, and so kind of can ignore that one right now. My brother just sent me a PC, which I was gonna set up to do more live streaming. I haven't yet, but that one's already kind of reached at this point. So
Right.
I really got to reevaluate the Patreon and make sure I've got some good goals and some cool things for everybody who supports, because I really care about the support. It's really awesome. I want to put all of that support back into the show and making it great. So
Yes.
I think finding good goals to achieve with that is gonna, it's important. Anyways, if you are watching or listening on YouTube, please leave a comment as to what month in 2019 you think Animal Crossing Switch will be released. You can ignore all of our advice completely. We're just a couple guys who are fans, so you can ignore what we've said and make your guess whatever month you want. Or you can use some of our guidelines and think of a release date based on those. And please leave a review for the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow, and it has been growing lately.
Oh, yes.
So many new people, lots of excitement for Animal Crossing Switch. And once again, thank you all so much for listening. We hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.